Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. Um, Still rocking late last night's funky ponytail. I'm telling you, I'm the chick that'll sleep in her makeup, her ponytail. Surprised I even put on pajamas. Um, so yesterday I get a call from a friend of mine. He is a high-powered executive, and he's a dad. His children are grown. Well, one's in college, one's in high school. And he's been married to his high school sweetheart for 24 years, 22 years. Anyway, we're talking, and he makes a comment where he says something like, I would love to go away by myself for just a couple of days just for me. But, I just could never do that. I travel so much for work. So I said, yeah, but that's not for you. That's for work. I know what he does for a living. I know what his business trips entail. None of it is relaxing. He goes to a city 2 to 3 days at a time. He lands, goes to the hotel, checks in, maybe has time to eat, and then it's meeting, business dinner, watching cuts of a movie or meeting with financiers or whatever, then going back to the hotel, going to sleep, getting up in the morning, and it's an 8 o'clock breakfast meeting, and then it's 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, a dinner, and then it's back on a plane. None of it is relaxing, and none of these cities typically, usually not there. None of these cities warrant like relaxation. It's typically New York or whatever. It's not. So anyway, I say to him, well, when was the last time that you did anything, just for you? And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, just for you, outside of being a husband, a father, or an executive, like something for you. And he said, I don't know what you mean. I said, what? I don't understand what you're not getting. When was the last time you did something for you? Like, he said, well, I relax on the weekends. I read scripts or books that. I said, okay, that's for work. I get that. When was the last time you did something for you? He literally was like, okay, but I don't understand what you're asking me. I was like, oh my, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? When was the last time you set aside time for you to pour into yourself, to grow yourself as a man and a human being, spiritually or mentally or physically? When was the last time you worked out just for you, or you went for a run, or you, I don't know, meditated, if that's like a thing you like, or something just for you? He was like, people don't do that. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, how could I take any time for myself when so much of my life is consumed by work? When I'm not working, I have to be with my wife. And I said, okay, let me ask you something. You started this conversation with saying you wish you could blank. What I'm confused about is, why are you working so hard in your own life if you don't get to reap any of the rewards? You don't ever get to do anything that furthers you as a man. How are you, tell me how you are fulfilled being solely a father, a husband, and an executive? 3 roles. That's it. I didn't hear any time with your parents. I didn't hear any time with friends. I didn't hear any time with God. I didn't hear any time to be still. Like, you have 3 roles that you're constantly trying to maintain, and I appreciate that. But what is the word that describes most how you feel in your life? And he's like dead silent. And then he goes, I don't know, I guess, stale. I said, okay. Yet you have this booming career. You make all this money. You have a successful marriage. You've got 2 healthy children. Yet your life feels stale. Why do you think that is? He was like, yo, White Oprah, back up. I was like, okay, I'm not trying to coffee talk you. You're my friend. He was like, yeah, don't make me think about things I don't want to think about. And this is what we do. We become stagnant and we don't want to feed the parts of ourselves that may want more for ourselves because it is terrifying. It is terrifying to say, I have neglected myself to the point that I no longer know what serves me anymore. I don't know what fuels me. I don't know what excites me because I have not paid attention to me in so long that I don't even know what my interests are outside of being a wife, a mother, and a publicist or a writer or whatever you want to call me today. So I said to him, we don't have to talk about it. We can change the subject. He said, well, no, now you've opened Pandora's box, so let's continue the conversation. I'm like, okay. What interests you? What are your hobbies? And he said, damn, I don't even know anymore. All of my spare time is spent either, doing things around the house that need to be done that I've neglected all week because of work, or reading scripts. I don't have any hobbies. And he said, how did I become a 50-year-old man who has no hobbies, who does absolutely nothing for himself? I said, I don't know. But sometimes we think we have to be martyrs for our relationships. If we are not giving everything to our wives or our husbands, if we are not giving everything to our children, then we are then we are selfish, then we are less than the mother or wife or husband or father next to us is better or more than. And by the way, I call bullshit, because if I gave everything that I had to Michael and the kids and nothing for me in any capacity, have you ever seen like a slug when people pour salt around it and it has nowhere to go but to basically commit suicide? And then it touches the salt and it just shrivels up? That would be me. I could not survive that way. So he and I ended up finishing the conversation where I said to him, you've got to find out what you enjoy and do some of it, a little bit of it. Like, he said, well, he played football in college and he loves football. And I said, when was the last time you went to a game? He goes, oh, I don't know. I said, when was the last time that you sat and just watched a game and didn't do anything around the house, or didn't, just took 2 hours for yourself? And he was like, I have so few free hours at home. I say, yeah, but they're no longer free hours because you are committing every free minute of your existence to serving other people and their needs and their happiness. You've created an environment where so many people depend on you for their happiness that you no longer have anything for you. And I understand how we get there. Believe me, I do. But you have to be very mindful to serve yourself some too. You wouldn't cook all day and then stand at a table and serve all of the food to everybody else and leave absolutely nothing for yourself, and do it day after day after day until you're starving. Why would you do that? You have to feed yourself. There's a reason they say put the mask on first on the airplane. We talk about it all the time. You've got to feed yourself. You can't give everything away to everybody else. You can't be their sole source of happiness and, all of these things that fill them, and there's nothing left for you. Stale is not the way that anybody should feel. All right. I love you guys so much today. Have a great day.